allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, approval of the treasurer warrants. Payroll warrants September 6th and September 13th. Second motion?
Often I move we approve the payroll warrants for September 6th and September 13th.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
This is the way to say because I wasn't here. Is that
Oh.
appropriate?
Yes, that is.
That's what I was thinking. That's
Okay.
pretty good for the end of the day.
I'm glad somebody.
Are you abstaining?
Yes, because I was not here.
Right.
Okay, accounts payable warrants for September 10th and September 17th.
I'll move the accounts payable warrants for September 10th and 17th.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Abstain.
Right.
Okay, approval of minutes for September 3rd. Do we have any corrections on those? I didn't see any. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of September 3rd.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Abstain.
Okay, we need to have a public hearing for the adoption of the 2019-2020 General Assistance Ordinance, Appendix A through F and Appendix H.
Will you go into public hearing for the purpose of the general assistance ordinance?
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, do we have to- I guess that's up to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, there isn't any.
Do you want to This is addressed to welfare officials and contracted agents from Sarah Russell, Program Manager, General Assistance. As of September 6th, there are new General Assistance maximums. And basically, is Kathy here now? Kathy controls all this. And there is a summary sheet of what the maximums are. And it's done by county, it's based on people in the household. So a basic one person overall maximum is $849. With 6 people in the household, it's $1616, which basically reflects an additional $75 per month per person. And then they've got food maximums. Weekly maximum for one is $45.12. Monthly maximum is $194. 8 in the household would be $270.70 per week, and monthly maximum would be $1164. And housing maximums run from $162 weekly for basically no bedrooms, and $273 for 4 bedrooms, and whether it's heated or unheated. Very, very specific, done by county. We had an audit of our general assistance program a few weeks ago, and everything was fine. Kathy's doing it the way it's supposed to be done, and I would recommend. It's money that comes from someplace else. It comes from us originally, but it comes from someplace else, and I would recommend that the board agrees to adopt the 2019-2020 General Assistance Ordinance. Appendices A to F, and Appendix H.
Is there any questions? Yes, Ed.
Ed Barsik, Wiscasset. I'm having trouble recalling, is this one of the numbers that the people vote on in our annual budget?
Yes.
It is, so there's a maximum established there, and that comes from, as part of our taxes. I get confused when John said it comes from someplace else.
Well, okay, I shouldn't say that.
Okay, all right. We actually pay that, and it's limited by the board approval.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Any questions from the board?
state session.
All right, seeing none, I'll take a motion to come out of public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? And can I have a motion to adopt?
I'll move we adopt the 2019-2020 General Assistance Ordinance Dependencies A through F and Appendix H.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you. Now we have the public comment on non-agenda items. At each regular selectmen meeting, there will be time devoted to any resident or taxpayer of the town of Wiscasset to address the selectmen regarding any item that is not on the agenda for that meeting. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes per person. There'll be a 30-minute maximum for this section. Is there any public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Guys, Leslie Roberts, Wiscasset. As you know, the Historic Preservation Commission has been working on some advocacy, and part of that is working on trying to find grants that might help us in public projects, for instance, the clock tower. And so I have been working on trying to find us some money to get some repairs done in the clock tower. So far, I've checked into Main Steeples grant, which we're not able to collect, we're not eligible for because the tower is actually attached to a privately owned building. And I've checked on another grant, the Belvedere grant, which we're also not eligible for the same reason. But in the meanwhile, it'd be really great for us to be able to get some folks up in the tower, get some steeple jacks, get roof repair, get window repair estimates, so we understand really what we're looking at in terms of the cost to get the tower repaired, at least get it weatherproof, because there's glass missing, there's water coming in, water going down into the tower, maybe damaging the building that's privately owned. So I'm worried about maybe us getting sued somewhere down the line by the owner of the building. And you know how moisture is, the worse, the more that gets in, the worse it's going to get. So I'm wondering if you guys would be open to having, like, John, I know you said Joe Calhoun is the caretaker there. Joe, if we could have him take some folks up there so we could start collecting estimates for initial repairs.
Okay. Basically, as I've said to you, it's pretty unpleasant up there. It's very, very steep and dangerous. These ladders, if you even call them that, have no railings, no ropes, no anything. I also pointed out on numerous occasions to various people that the amount of pigeon droppings up there creates a significant health hazard and requires suiting up by whoever the DEP person is. So it's not something that visitors can do. However, yesterday I spoke to Andrew from Midnight Restoration, and he's going up there tomorrow. He's going to enclose it for the winter, and he's got all the appropriate mitigation gear, and he's been doing this. I mean, it's a specialized operation up in the air where it's only the clouds and the birds and the bats, and so that'll happen tomorrow.
Beautiful.
So it'll be closed up, and anybody that's going to help on funding, a rough estimate from the time he looked at it during the summer, I guess you must have spoken to him, was that it would probably cost about $50,000 to do that.
Okay. But if he's not, he probably wouldn't be the only person doing that work. He's a steeplejack, right? So we probably have someone repairing the windows and various things. The clock needs to be restored and repaired. It's not even shining anymore. It'd be nice to get a breakdown of like what every bit of the project will cost. So even if we have to chip away at it a little bit this year, a little bit next year, maybe we can.
Yeah, we certainly put something that magnitude out to bid, and we'll get requests for qualifications.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Susan, did you have something?
Susan Blackton. And mainly I'm here to thank Ted Snowden. I called his office mid-afternoon. He wasn't there, of course. He was out doing what he does. And I left a message. Thought, okay, sometime in the next week or so, I'll call back again. At a little before 8 the following morning, he called. And I told him what my concern was, and he said, got it, know about it, we're on it. The department did an absolutely magnificent job at preparing the Tucker grave sites in Wiscasset at Woodlawn Cemetery. The wall was falling down, it was brick and granite, and it was all hither and yon. And I just wanted to thank them for a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And I also want to just point out something in case you haven't noticed. And I would like to publicly thank the Lincoln County Commissioners who have planted a hedge around that perfectly dreadful propane tank that got more comment in this town than anything I've heard of for a long time. They have planted a hedge around that and around the air conditioning unit. And when you come around that corner, we're back to having a beautiful courthouse to look at.
Thank you. Yes, Pam?
I just want to address the clock again. As a private citizen, it has not rung for some time yet, and that should be ringing. We don't care if it rings on time, but we know it was a half an hour late for a while, so we depended on that. But it is something that was missed all along, was the ringing of the clock. Again, if I can address the clock. When the clock was donated to the town, we were made to be stewards of the clock. In the budget committee, there is no budget for maintenance of the clock. Clock's over 100 years old. This should be part of the maintenance and budget of this town. We as stewards are responsible for that clock. As far as anything being too steep or anything to get up to the clock, Joe Cahoon's been going up to that clock and resetting it for years, and he doesn't have a problem with that. You can go to building material supply and get masks if you're concerned about any health hazards. You can get them there for a song, literally. But we as a town are responsible. William Clark gave us that clock. That clock right now is more representative of this town than the ships that are no longer there. And I would see replacing every ship monument that we have even on our police badges with the clock, because that's even more reminiscent, something that was donated and given to us to be stewards for. It does represent this town. You come over from Edgecombe, the first thing you see is that clock. You come around town, you see that clock. That clock is part of Wiscasset, and we're proud to have that. I'd like to hear it ring again. I'd like to see it preserved better than it has been in the past. And I'd like to see it put in the budget annually. Maintain this clock. That clock is Wiscasset. And I'm proud to be on the same street as it. And I'm proud to hear it all night long when it does happen.
Thank you very much, Pam.
You're welcome. And if you get this month's Maine Homes, October and September issue, I'm in there. My house.
Yes, Kim?
Kim Dolce, the clock. May I ask, in terms of winterizing, are they planning on just like putting a tarp over the thing so water can't get in? Or is there something, is it going to be an eyesore?
It's going to be installed internally. It's going to be plywood, which will be painted white, and some weather stripping.
Okay, better than a tarp.
That is not, well, okay, I just didn't want the detail, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, there was more?
No, that's it. I could have just said, no, it won't be a tarp.
Oh, okay. No, I'm glad to hear that. My other concern is, and though Leslie Roberts mentioned it, I do want to reinforce the fact that though the town, it owns and is responsible for that clock, the building does not belong to the town. And if we don't keep it in working order, if something was to happen, either it tumbles to the ground, that would reduce the value of that property. If there was water intrusion, we could be sued. And I would hate to see any of those things happen. The price that they have on that property that they've been trying to sell is not a song. So I think we should be really cautious and make sure that nothing happens to that building that we don't own, but could be responsible for.
Thank you.
And if I may, there is an annual contract with a clockmaker, and it's in the budget. I think it's $750. And the name is Balthazar, is that right? Yeah. They come every year.
Right, that's the clock, but the maintenance of the tower, that's still
No, no.
part of the donation that we need to uphold.
No, I misunderstood you then. I thought you were talking about the maintenance of the clock. I'm sorry.
And it's
All right, anyone else, public comment? I'd like to take just one moment, again, like Susan said, I'd like to thank Ted. I love my new street sign. Thank you so much. I'm glad it's up. I wish I knew where my old one was, but I don't know. Okay, we will go on. Department head or committee chair. Lisa Thompson, Parks and Recreation update. Lisa?
It's right behind you, so you might have to move.
I'd be happy to move.
So I've got a little PowerPoint presentation for you, and I know I gave you all a copy of it, but it looks a little different. I did add some numbers that were missing, so, but you can definitely follow through with what you have, but, also.
Yeah, do it in order.
Lisa,
Yes, it'll be in order.
I may have messed you up. I unplugged the plug that and plugged it back in.
You what?
I unplugged the plug so Kevin could walk by. So you may have to turn it back on again. I'm sorry. I may have messed you up. Press twice.
Down.
That's it.
I probably will need lights. Hoping that everybody can see. Nice. I moved it up really close because my screen was kind of distorted. So.
John, can you move your mic? It's John.
John's mic.
John's
Oh, my.
Okay, so I just wanted to go over and just talk to you all about, John had asked me to give a report, kind of like giving you some information about the Parks and Rec Department, the community center, and what we're doing to try to cut some costs, build some revenue, and what that might look like over the year as a projected amount. So I also wanted to take the opportunity too to show you some of the things we're doing. So I'm squeezing in some pictures and stuff. So as you can see, there will be some of those throughout here too. So just wanted to go through, we do have a mission for the department. We built this mission 2 years ago. We reinstalled it to put it on everything that we put out to the public. And that is to cultivate health and wellness in our community through quality recreational programming, enriching social activities, and safe, well-maintained facilities. And I think that we do that through the facility that we do provide, the parks that we maintain, and the outdoor field facilities that we work on, as well as the programs that we provide for the public. So these are just a couple of the programs that we do. We have coaching, the one on the left is a coaching clinic that Lori does. The picture on the right is our after-school kids enjoying an afternoon apple picking. So what does our community center do for this community? So kind of wanted to set the stage just to talk to all of you about what we do for the community. And I think there's a lot of misconstrued thoughts on that it's just there for the kids. And although we do service children, we are finding that children are becoming our minority that we're serving in town, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So one of the things that we do is we promote exercise and better health habits. We do that by having a fitness center. We have our pool, which is very well used. And we also promote all kinds of fitness classes, and we've also built on those fitness classes. We've added Tai Chi, we've added kickboxing this fall, and we're adding one other one. We're also bringing on a new fitness trainer, and so people are very excited about that. We provide resources for those in need. We are on Fridays when there's no school during the summer. The food pantry brings their food to us so that people can come and get food each week. We offer blood pressure clinics. We do blood drives. We have informational meetings for better living for anybody who comes to the community center. We provide a safe place and for our CACFP and summer feeding program. So during the school year, we provide a free snack every day to our kids coming in to our after-school program. And right now we have 39 children registered in our program. It's the highest it's been in a long time, which is great. Our average daily number is about 30. In the summertime, we are the spot for the summer feeding program in town. So these are both state and federally funded programs where we provide a free meal to any child 18 and under the age of 18 to fill in that gap of when they're not in school. And sometimes kids who are in school, that's the only meals they get during the day. Is they get their free lunch, they get their free breakfast, and they may go home and not eat again until the next day. So we try to fill that gap for them. We can increase the property values in Wiscasset. We have a lot of people that come into our facility and say, I just moved here, or I moved here because of this facility, or I am moving here or thinking of moving here. My real estate agent said I should check you out. So, and it has been proven in other studies as well that property values do increase when you have an active Parks and Recreation Department or a facility like ours in your town. We collaborate with other town departments, communities, and outside agencies to develop new programs and services. We are actively involved in the Substance Use Prevention Partnership that we work with the police department here and other surrounding departments and communities. We work together with other town departments to support each other with events that we do, such as National Night Out. We provide a safe place for children to play, for children and their families. We bring communities together in crisis as well as celebration. Two things that happened just in my short time being here was the windstorm in October of 2017 when we became a warming shelter for about 9 days. And to me, that was one of the reasons, even though it was a crisis for our town, it was great to see the community come together, and it was wonderful that we could provide that place for them to come take a shower, to come get a warm meal, which was all done by volunteers. It was, you know, there was a silver lining to that, and that was held at the community center. And the other thing we've done too, you know, when Pendlechick was killed, there was a lot of sadness in the community, and I had a community member come to me and say, we really need to do something because so many people are hurting. So we held a vigil for her when nobody else would, and it was all resident driven. But we were the people that provided that spot for people to come and grieve and be together and get through that crisis together. It was especially grateful to our first responders who had to deal with that week, because all of the police department, EMS, they all attended, and they were very grateful that we did that with them. And we provide meeting and gathering space. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we do. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the numbers, because one of the things I've noticed, and for some of you, I think most of you know, I did work here back in '99 to 2003 as the program director. And when I came back in 2017, I noticed one of the biggest things I noticed was the difference in the demographics. And to me, it was staggering. And I know for someone living here, you may not notice it. It's one of those things you don't notice when you're living it all the time. So right now, and this was based on the US Census 2017 Community Demographic Survey, we have about 3,675 people living in Wiscasset. The average age of people living in the US is 37.7 years old. The average age of people living in Maine is 44.2. We all know that Maine is the oldest state in the nation. The median age in Wiscasset is 48.5, which is above the average age of people living in Maine. So we are an older community now. And 27%, the percentage of people, which is 27% of people are, let me rephrase that. There's 27% of the people living in Wiscasset that are 65 years and older. living in Licking County, I'm sorry. So this is more, and this information I took from reading the comprehensive plan from Wiscasset from 2008. So adults, and this was back in 2008, and this was data taken from 1990 to 2000. So it's a little old, but it gives you an idea of where we were headed and kind of where we are now. So what I wanted to really focus on is adults ages 75 to 84 increased 28% in Wiscasset at the time, and 25% in Lincoln County. Adults 85 and older increased significantly, 26 in Wiscasset, 46 in Lincoln County. You know, we all were told, and I think a lot of things that we've been hearing in the news is that, you know, the baby boomer generation is getting older, and we are gonna have to learn to figure out what to do with all of these older adults from a healthcare standpoint, from a living standpoint, from caring for our aging parents standpoint, things like that. And we're seeing here in Wiscasset that our demographics are really predominantly older now. All the teachers that our staff had, they're all retired and they come every day to the community center to play pickleball. So, you know, where 20 years ago, they were all in the midst of their careers. So there's so many examples. I also wanted to add, these are my own statistics. Back in 99 to 2000, we had 150 to 200 children playing youth sports per season. We would have 12 to 16 basketball teams in our youth sports program. Now we're lucky if we have 4. We had 3 camps in the summertime with 80 to 125 children in each camp. We had to split them up into 3 sections. This year we had 60 children who experienced camp, and our average daily numbers were around 35. Our weekly attendance was 45. And this year, we have 85 children right now playing soccer, and we will have about that many playing basketball, and probably a few less playing softball and t-ball. Only because there's some reasons for that too. I mean, kids like baseball is, some would say, a dying sport with a younger set. So they want to play lacrosse, they want to do other things. So that's one of the reasons. So you guys can stop me anytime to have any questions. So how are we cutting costs? Right now, one of the things we're doing to cut costs is in 2017 we adopted, when we received a grant from Maine Efficiency to change all of our lighting over to LED lighting. We started the first phase in 2017 with the lighting in the building. Bob did, I think, half the building at that time, and then he did the other half later in the year, I want to say 2018. 2019, we just finished. The project is now complete. The parking lot lighting was done in August, and that was the last of it. This was all acquired through a grant that Bob applied for and received through Efficiency Maine. So we got all the light bulbs through the grant. And what you're seeing now is what we budgeted each year for electricity. The second column is what was actually spent, and then the third column over was how much we didn't spend for electricity that year. We do anticipate, where we had a 20% savings overall this year, we expect it to go up a little higher. I'm expecting anticipating about 28% with the parking lot lighting being done. So that might be a small thing, but it's something that we are, working on. Would love to see heating oil prices go down, but I don't know if they will, especially after the events of this week. But the other thing we've done is we're now closing on all major holidays, including our Monday holidays where we were open. We were open 332 days a year in 2017. We're now down to 318 days per year. I will say our membership isn't overly thrilled about this, but it does help cut our costs so that we're not, we're cutting down on some of those staffing costs. So, revenue generators. The Wiscasset Parks and Recreation Department generated $342,502.80 in the last fiscal year. Our anticipated revenue for this fiscal year we're now in is $440,000, or $97,497.20 more than what we brought in last year. So that seems like an awful lot. To make up this amount, we are making several changes to our programs and services in order to create more revenue. So some of the things that I'll discuss in these future slides, we are revamping our community partnership program. We've increased our membership fees starting July 1. We've increased our program fees starting July 1. We increased our day pass fees starting July 1. This is starting this past July 1. Our rental fees have increased. The need for more senior and adult programs needs to be addressed. Collaboration with other towns and communities on programs, which we are doing somewhat now. We want to increase that. We are developing a community outreach program, and we are going to be reaching out to area high schools to do project graduation rentals. So, talk about that in a minute. So our community partnership program is something that is currently, that we do now. I'm sorry that the screen is kind of too small, but what we have done in the past that has been in place for years is that we offer a community partnership to other towns based on their population at a rate of $6 per resident. So $6 per resident per year is what we charge those towns who want to be community partners. We have had only 2 towns take advantage of that since this partnership began in, I want to say 2001. I was here when we started it. And that's Alnut and Westport Island. And maybe Jeff can help me out with this too. I don't think Alnut came on first.
Right.
Westport Island came on first, then Alnut joined a couple years later. Each of them pay about $4,000 a year, and that's based on their population. So what I wanted to do was try to make this, I reached out to other towns, and they simply just find it to be too steep of a charge when they, for example, the town of Richmond has a population of 3,394 people, which would mean they would pay us $20,000 a year to be a community partner. They seem to not find $20,000 a year like a good deal for them when only maybe 15% of their residents would take advantage of our thing. But if we lowered the price for them and gave them a cheaper deal, maybe more of the residents would come and take advantage of our membership. So we're looking at, so what I was looking at is based on a flat rate of their population. So if your population is up to 1,000, you pay a flat rate of $3,500 a year. Between 1,000 and 5,000, you pay $5,000 a year.
Richmond will come for that.
Huh?
Richmond will come for that.
It would be. I mean, I think it would be more
I
attractive.
sat in on that years ago, and
That was their concern.
Yes.
It is a lot to pay, for what, it gives the resident the option to come and get our member rates, but not everybody, it's not for everybody. So, but $5,000 might be doable, and it might become more attractive to those people who originally would say no to that.
Excuse me. Kim, did you have something?
I think my question was just answered. So what they get for this is the member rate.
Right.
Is that correct?
They do. They get the member rate. They get, which is the cheapest rate. And so if they get the member rate if they buy a membership, they buy it at the same rate that a Wiscasset resident gets that rate. So, so that's the kind of the format that I used for that. And this just kind of gives you an idea, potentially, of what we could bring in. So it narrows it down to price per resident. These populations are based on the 2010 census. So, because they don't really have new numbers. So I based it, actually it might be from the 2017 community demographic one that the US Census did. So I based it on that. So it looks like right now, where we bring in only about $8,000 for the community partnership, we potentially could bring in a lot more. And in addition to that, we could bring in a lot more residual dollars for all these people in these communities who are like, oh, now I can get member rates, I can do this. I would love to be a part of the community center now. So that's something that we're really hoping will take off. Our membership and program fee increases started July 1, and the membership increases are a 3-year phase. So every year in July, we will go up $1 a month, which is $12 a year for an annual membership. $1 a month for if you've got a flex membership, which is a 3-month minimum, it goes up $3, or it goes up $6 if you get a 6-month membership. So our average number of memberships, and this is not members, this are memberships, are 375 annual memberships and 350 what we call flex memberships. Yeah.
So based on that, I'm just trying to do the math, because you had said that in Richmond, 15% of the people would probably be taking memberships. So are you saying that out of the 375 annuals, that's basically only 10% or even less of Wiscasset residents that have memberships?
There are not many, yeah, and I'll talk about that more too. We have mostly Wiscasset residents who are members, but we are becoming much more regionalized.
Do you know what percentage of Wiscasset are residents?
I don't have that number.
But you know that Richmond's 15%?
No, that was the number I threw out, and I said possibly could be 50%.
Well, there's a lot of possibilities.
So, yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. So the average increase per year on the membership will be around $8,500, and I'm hoping within 3 years will be around $2,500 over the 3-year period. So $8,500 a year. Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify, when you said you have 350 memberships but not members.
Yes.
That means like, so I have a membership and that's 4 members?
That's 4 members.
Okay.
So a family, yes, that's just 375 annual memberships. But of those annual memberships, we have a total of just over 2,000 members right now.
Oh, over 2,000 members?
Yes, so the number of members. And that changes month to month because people's memberships expire and other people sign up, and
that's more than half the town.
It is, but a lot of, like I said, it's a lot of people from regional. Membership revenue for 27-18 was $174,000. It went down 2018-19 to $130,000. And our anticipated membership revenue, anticipating $142,000. I do try to be very, I try to be very conservative with my anticipated projections. I just think it's a safer thing to do. So our day passes and point of sale items are anything that we sell from our concession stand, including snacks and drinks and water, t-shirts and aquatic supplies, and discount tickets to Funtown, and all of that, anything that is considered point of sale, does very well. And we anticipate bringing in about $36,000 this year in point of sale items. Day passes are incredibly popular, and we do about half of that is in day passes. Our day pass rate did go up July 1st. We haven't received any pushback on that, and people seem more than willing to pay for a day pass rate. Rentals, 27-18, we had $22,000 in revenue for rentals. This past year we had $13,000. This year we are hoping to have $20,000, and we'll talk about that with our project graduation project that we plan to do. So, programs are anything that we bring in money for that we put on for the public. Anything from youth sports, after-school programs, summer camps. Let's see, I'm trying to think of anything else. Special event costs, the father-daughter dance. Scarecrow Fest, Winterfest activities. So this brings in a big bulk of our revenue. We were at 212 in 17-18. It went down in 18-19. We are anticipating 206 this year. What we have done is, like I said before, we included a 2 to 3% increase in our program fees that began on July 1. That included all of our aquatics programs, all of our youth sports programs, summer camp, and after school. We are also now enforcing late fees, which is something my staff really didn't want to do because they're incredibly nice and they don't want to make things hard for the public. But we actually started with youth soccer this year, and we do it for after school as well. We had a $10 late fee for anybody who registered for soccer after the deadline of August 1st. We ended up bringing almost $1,000 in late fees into the soccer program. I think that will go down next year because people will understand and they will learn to save money if they sign up before the late fee. However, it does help take some pressure off of our program staff to not have to rush and scramble and change things all the time because people wait until the last minute or the first day of the program or the first week of the program to sign up, which does put a lot of stress and lay extra labor on our staff to change things around. So, which is one thing that has been something, and Jeff, you can probably attest to that. So, this is a picture of our group of regular pickleball people, and we're going to talk about, older, active older adults and the programming needs that they have. This is just a small portion of them. These are kind of what I would call our regular bunch. But we probably have 25 to 30 people come out and play pickleball every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They wanted more, so we gave them Tuesday nights in the summer, and that started filling up, and they want it now through October. My view is, as long as we have the space for them, we should let them come and play, and it's all about, getting active, and they have a community within themselves now. They hang out, they drink coffee, they catch each other up, they become a support system for each other. And there's been some great backstories that have come out of that relationship. So one of the things, and hopefully to increase revenue in our within the community center and the Parks and Rec, is to increase senior programming. Seniors, when I talk about seniors, I'm talking about active adults, older adults, people 50 and older. We have two, John and I talked about this, we have two sets of older adults in our community. We have the adults who want to play pickleball and want to go kayaking, and they want to go in the fitness room, and they want to work with a personal trainer, and they want to take fitness classes, and they try to push themselves physically every day. I would say this is the age between 55 and 75. And then we have another group that's between like 65 and 80, and they do overlap a little bit. But then we have those older adults, what I call the more of the greatest generation adults, and they want companionship, they want community, they want to come and have their meals every couple weeks, they like to play cribbage, they like to go on trips together, things like that. And then we do have some of those adults that cross into both of those groups. I have an 82-year-old man who works out every day at the community center, and he has a personal trainer that works with him. And I saw him one day do 10 pull-ups without stopping, and I couldn't even do one. I mean, he was just 82 years old. And then we have, some younger people who like to come and have dinner every 2 weeks with the seniors. So it's nice to see that mix. But predominantly, that's what we see, is those two demographics of adults. One of the things that I'd like to work on this year, I am working on getting a community development block grant to get a 14-passenger bus so that we can provide seniors with more opportunities to get out of town and go on some trips to shorter places. I met with the senior center trustees just to gauge and see what they were wanting to do, and they want to go places. They want to get out of town. They want to, even to go to the botanical gardens for them is something they'd rather have someone drive them to and to go with their friends than to go by themselves and worry about parking and things like that. So one of the things I am doing with them now is we're going to do a trip to the Freiburg Fair. I'm really hoping that we have enough to fill the bus. They don't seem to understand that they can't pay when the bus arrives, so we're working on that. So we're trying to get that to take off. More trips and senior events. I think we'll bring more seniors to the senior center. We'll bring more seniors to the community center. We'll be more interested in coming, purchasing memberships and taking part in some of our programs. And the reason we're doing this is because our region's population is older. This part of this programming is really something that we are going to struggle with, because it really can only be achieved by developing staffing resources to match these anticipated programs and revenues. And right now we just don't have the staffing for it, so we're just trying to patch it along and do what we can. So as far as community outreach goes, one of the things that we want to do is make the community center more of a regional center and not just a community center. And to answer Pam's question in the back, I mean, we do have, I would say, our larger percentage of members, if you take all of the members from the entire region, does make up more than the people in Wiscasset, because our population is only 3,000 people. So, but we do draw from all of the other communities around us. We draw from as far as New Harbor and Whitefield and Jefferson, Dresden and Richmond, and people who go by us because they live in or work in Wiscasset, and they might live in Bath, and they would prefer to have their workout with us. So we are working on trying to outreach all of those outlying towns so that we can try to get more people to come in. What we do hear a lot of is like, I never knew you existed. I didn't even know this place was here. We want to hear less of that, so we really want to get the word out. Project graduation rentals, with our rental fees right now, or even at the nonprofit rate that we would offer high schools, a 9-hour rental, overnight rental would bring in, $2,400 to $2,800. My goal is to get 4 project graduations this year from outlying high schools in the area to come and rent our facility for the night to have their project graduation. We plan to contact local real estate offices and provide them with welcome packets to our facility for new property owners. And that's regionally, we plan to do in Wiscasset now. And we really need to build positive relationships with surrounding communities so that we can gain support with our community partnership program and other programs that we want to collaborate with other towns on. And I use the community partnership program because I am trying to start talks with Dresden and Richmond particularly, and it's important that we have a good relationship going into it, because it's, we want to be good neighbors, and we especially want to work with them. And the other thing is, just like I said before, community awareness, and just trying to get the word out that we do have this wonderful facility, and we want to share it with people, and we want people to know about it. So these are some of our youth sports programs. The one on the right is our track and field program, which did very well, and some kids went to nationals this year. I don't think that was talked about enough, but we had a great showing for that. And our left side is our soccer challenger camp, which is run by British and European soccer coaches. It's incredibly popular. We had 24 kids this year. It grows every year. So here's the numbers that I anticipate that we can try to build this revenue and reach our goal this year. We work on this goal every year. I plan to share this with my staff. And every month we check all the numbers. So if anybody have any questions about that? Does anyone have any questions at all? I was hoping to cover all the bases.
You did a great presentation, very good presentation. Does the board have any questions for Lisa?
No, very thorough.
Very